Hi, welcome to this week's Pick Your Pokemon Oracle card reading. We have 3 different piles to choose from today with a bunch of Oracle cards. We'll pull an Herbal Astrology card as a qualifier, and then we'll pull some cards from my deck. Just as a side note, the pre-order for the second printing of my deck is up on anevenweirderowl.com. Okay, I'm done selling myself now. Okay, so here's the piles we have today. We've got Gholdengo, Lilligant, and Lampent. Go ahead and fast forward to your pile. Timestamps are in the description, and I'll meet you there. Hi, and welcome, Gholdengo pile. I almost said file. Go ahead and start over again. Hi, and welcome, Gholdengo pile. Got this cute little guy here. Go ahead and put him up in the corner. Sunlight's really hitting that holographic. Okay, so first we're gonna pull, let's pull these sides for a second. We'll go ahead and put that right there. We're gonna pull a qualifier card out of this Herbal Astrology deck. Okay, this is a reading about detachment. And one of the things that pops up for me a lot with this card is being healthily detached without dissociating and finding practices that allow me to be at peace with myself without just full on dissociating into a video game, which is what I am likely to do at any given moment. So let's go ahead and pull our Oracle cards out and see what else we got here. We have Athena with Wise Decision. You know, it's funny. I think that I pulled her in the first round. Anyway, this is about connecting with your inner world and making the right decision for you. There's maybe a choice that you've been making recently when it comes to moving in the direction of choices that help you to kind of cultivate peace with yourself. That's the vibe I'm getting here. We have Volcano with Volatility. There's probably been a lot of upheaval and change happening in your life recently. And it's important that as you move forward, you understand that all of that volatility, all of that shifting is the work of spirit. You might feel very upended right now. Your life might feel a little chaotic, but it's serving a greater purpose. So being able to cultivate this peace for yourself, being wise and making the decision to cultivate this peace for yourself is going to help you to weather whatever this is. Because this isn't something to be feared. This is something that's actually very valuable for you. It's gold for you. It just might not seem like it yet. Break through to new dimensions. A new endeavor is on the horizon. Innovative energy wants to burst forth into your consciousness. So this is leading you up to a breakthrough. This is leading you up to a major shift in your consciousness, which what a gift that is. Those kinds of breakthroughs are never without suffering. But pain and pleasure often come intertwined. There's something here about kind of grounding into the present moment, grounding into what you can cultivate of inner peace as everything shifts around you, because this chaos is actually really important. This chaos means that everything's happening. It's all moving. It's all working. You just can't see the outcome yet. And we have diving to new depths. There's a deeper meaning to what's happening. You might be looking at this from the surface and missing what's really going on. Take a moment to pause and breathe. Allow yourself to dive deeper into what it is you're feeling about your current situation. So yeah, this breakthrough is requiring a lot of you, and that might be really exhausting. But what it's requiring of you is to pause and breathe so that all of this shifting can happen. So this new level of presence, this new upgrade of your what's the word I want to use? A life, this upgrade of your life, of yourself, of your connectedness to yourself. This is a positive major shift that requires you to be detached from the outcome and allow it to be what it is and come what may. We have the self. I mean, I feel like these cards are just perfect. And as a note, I don't know what these cards are going in. I shuffled them all upside down. So there might be one or two that flip, but for the most part, I have no idea what the reading is beforehand. There's this deeper connectedness to yourself that's growing out of this volatility. We have the riddle, stop trying to find the answer. This isn't an answer that you're going to be able to solve. This is something's going to come into your awareness and you'll know. But right now, you can't work harder and make this make sense. You can't do more or be more for this to make sense. This just has to unravel the way it's going to. You need to allow it to unfold. And we have gnosis. This is knowing that is gained through lived experience. We can't teach each other the lessons we've learned. We can try, but you can't really know these lessons until you learn them yourself. And you are, okay, apparently that's important. You are finding gold. In alchemy, gold is the true self. It's the whole self. You are on your way there. You're building that for yourself. Let's see what else we've got here. The avoidant reversed. You're facing your fears. You're honest. You're open-minded. There are old patterns here. These old patterns of self-doubt. You might think that you know everything right now and you don't, and that's okay. There's this imbalance. You're still kind of you're still purging bits and pieces of the old self, which means that you don't know everything right now because some of it's so new that you don't even know what it is yet. And so there's an imbalance between your new world and your old world, and that's okay. This isn't something you can find an answer for. This isn't something you have a solve for. It's something that you have to just let it be what it is. Make sure that you aren't prioritizing logic over feeling here, because feeling your feelings is how you're going to get through this. You can't logic your way through this. There is no logic. This is something bigger. There's something bigger than you, and you need to make peace with that. There might be some shadow at work here. It might be the part of you that desires feeling in control, doing things that, often the siren for me is the part of me that wants to win. And I had to, yeah, they're asking you to lean into this crone energy, nuanced, rooted in yourself. Sometimes, and recently, this is an experience I've been having a lot. You just have to accept that you don't know what winning looks like right now. And because you don't know what winning looks like, any move you make could actually mess with the flow of what's happening for you. So you need to make the decision to cultivate softness within, to pause, to breathe, to look at what's happening, to be grateful for what's happening, even if it's not something that feels like it deserves gratitude right now, because this is something so big that you can't see it. To quote Nick Miller, you can't get your mouth around the sandwich. So honestly, Gholdengo pile, you're doing a lot better than you think you are. Pause, breathe, feel your feelings, let go of old patterns. You're about to have a breakthrough, and you deserve it. Please leave a comment if this landed for you, if there's a story you have that goes along with it, and just comment and tell me which Pokemon you chose. I'm always so curious to hear what Pokemon people choose. This has been your reading Gholdengo file. I keep saying pile. I hope to see you next time. Bye. All right, Lilligant pile. Welcome to your reading. Got this very cool V card here. I'm gonna go ahead and set it over here. This I'm in front of a window and it's really been hitting the, let's see if this lamp changes it a little bit. Oh, we can see a little clearly there. I wish I would have done that for the last one. That's okay. Okay, so first we're going to pull a couple things over here, get a couple things out of the way. Go ahead and put this right there. Let's pull a clarifier card to see a little more of what this reading is about. Give us a theme. Oh, that's a lot. I don't think we need 10 qualifier cards. If we could just get one, that would be great. Thank you. You know, I'll take 2. Okay, first we have ancient memory. This is something that's coming up, a deep knowing, a deep connection. This is old parts of yourself unlocking. And we have Kava Kava with community. You're connecting. This might mean that you have community from past lives coming in. It might mean that you have community coming in to reconnect you with old joy, with old gifts. There's something here about the next step of what you learn coming in through community. Community is very important for you right now. Let's jump to these oracle cards and see what else we got. We have High Priestess of Atlantis with chakra healing. Okay, so yeah, there's like a very ancient, old world feeling to this reading so far. This is a spiritual healing. This is a spiritual connection that's coming through community. And that doesn't necessarily mean spiritual community. It just means that some kind of awakening is happening through connection with other people. And it might be, maybe you've joined a new group, or maybe you found a new class or something. But this feels like something that's more intuitive, or more, how do I want to say it? This is something that's just happening naturally. We have dawn with new beginnings. Yes, that's exactly what this feels like. This feels like stepping into a new era of your life, and that community is such a big part of it. There's an elevation here, but the elevation comes from reconnecting with something from the past, and maybe not the near past, but something older than that, whether it be something that you were really into as a child or as a teenager, or maybe even a past life, like I said. Replacing what was lost. Oh, I love this. You now have the opportunity to rejuvenate and start anew, create with a new perspective or outlook. This card may also indicate abundance is on the horizon. So there's very much this regaining of old gifts. I really feel like there's going to be something that shows up for you, whether it be connected to your current life or a past one. There is this energy of gathering things that you've needed, things that you've had, things that maybe have been buried because you're ready. Let your personality shine. You have something no one else has that makes you who you are. Stop comparing yourself to others and allow your uniqueness to shine through. I almost get the feeling like there are gifts that you were in tune with when you were younger that were shamed out of you, or you felt like you weren't allowed to be interested in it. There's a lot of things that can happen. But in this new beginning, in this new life, in this new connection to community, you're rising above that. You're able to rise above and root down into the old in a way that allows you to be truly yourself in such a magical way. I get like goosebumps talking about it, because it's like this thing that you felt so disconnected from for so long is something you can now connect to. And it might have been so young that you don't even really fully remember it. It might be a fleeting memory. The threshold. Yeah, you're being called to a threshold to step forward into something new. And this is an amazing opportunity for you to grow beyond where you've been. It's like there was this box that you were put in when you were growing up that didn't allow you to be connected with the old part of your soul, the old part of you. And that's gone now. So you can root deeply. There's these roots here. You can root deeply Connect back to ancient memory, connect back to the old, and start new, bringing it with you. You're not starting from scratch. You're not starting from scratch, and you're not doing it alone. Oh, this one had 4. The fault line, everything is changing. Don't pretend like it's not changing. Sometimes when there's a lot of change coming, we can kind of precariously pretend like it's not. But in this instance, that's like the worst possible thing you can do. Prepare for this change. Prepare for this shift. Like I said, I do think it is pretty intuitive. I don't think it's something you have to make happen or force. I think it's going to happen naturally. But that doesn't mean that you can't put in the base work to be prepared for it. The storm, the bringers of change. Wow. This is probably the most comparable to the Tower card in this deck. But I don't feel this as a shaking of your sense of self. So the fault line is also often about changing everything from the foundation up. This is most definitely a foundational shift, but it's not one that's going to leave you falling apart. It's something beyond that. In those moments when you feel overwhelmed by it, turn to your community, turn to your soul. You're so rooted. The roots are so important in this reading. And even with jellyfish, like obviously these aren't roots, but it feels like that. It's like that going down into, if that makes sense. And the prayer, yeah, connect with your soul. You know exactly how to move through this, how to be through this, how to step into the new. You just have to do it. Let's pull some other cards and see what we got here. Director, living authentically, self-directed, resourceful, being the director of your life. Coagulation. This is the final stage of spiritual alchemy. This is the true self coming together. This is embodiment. This is integration. You've probably, I feel like whoever this pile is for has spent the last few years going through some really, really major changes in their identity. Might have been a Saturn return, Sati Sati, something like that. Maybe both. Everything has changed foundationally, and you're ready for this new beginning. You're rooted and prepared to embody this new version of yourself. Make sure that you're not neglecting yourself in this process. There might be this kind of feeling of needing to, like, getting so caught up in the details that you're not necessarily connecting deeply with yourself and taking the time to, okay, apparently that's important, care for yourself to the degree in which you deserve. So make sure that you're taking time for self-care. Your lack of self-care will be an obstruction. It'll be an obstruction to you moving forward. You're moving towards balance, towards aligning inner and outer worlds right now. But you don't have all of the information yet. And not having all the information yet might also mean that you're staying in your comfort zone. I just kind of heard this, not fully believing that this new beginning is here, not fully believing that it's time, but it's time. So start being the director, start embodying. There's a part of you that's holding on to the lessons, to the struggle that came with the last few years, but you're not there anymore. You are the only thing blocking your path towards union. You don't know everything, and that's okay. You don't have to. You have to trust and embody. If I can tell you anything, give you any advice for how to move forward, it's to trust and to embody the new self, because the new time is here and it's time you start living it. Lilligant Pile, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that this reading was helpful. Leave a comment. Tell me a story. Tell me which Pokemon you chose. I'm always so curious to hear how these land. And also be really proud of yourself because you're here, you made it. You're not waiting for it to start anymore. It's starting. So believe it, embody it, show up. Even if you don't have all the information, you can still direct your life going forward. And make sure you're being connected to your community. I hope to see you next time. Thank you. Lampent pile, welcome. It's your turn. We got this cute little guy here. I don't know if any of you have been playing Z through A, but I love my Chandelure. That's part of my team. Okay, we'll go ahead and set this here. So before we start pulling the oracle cards, we are going to go ahead and pull a qualifier card from this herbal astrology deck. Let's see what we got here. Okay, higher consciousness. You've maybe stepped into a higher frame of mind, a higher frame of being. Maybe this looks like meditating. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's just a new understanding of yourself and the universe and where you are currently. Sometimes we elevate without realizing it. Let's see what else the oracle cards have to learn a little more. We have Baba Yaga with patience. There's I got like kind of overwhelmed by that. There are certain things that take time, and those things take time because something is being built from the ground up in such a secure and foundational way that it requires us to allow it to move up for us. Excuse me. Apparently that's important. This is some kind of major shift for you. And it's, you know, sometimes when we get these elevations, sometimes when we step into the new era of ourselves, we're, you know, we're a big fish in this tiny pond. And so we move to a bigger pond where we're now the smallest fish. We're now Bambi and we have to get our legs under us. So it takes time for us to land in this new energy, in this new frequency, in this new vibration. So be patient with yourself as you're kind of getting acclimated to it because it's new. You don't know it yet. Music, harmony. This is a time of considerable harmony for you. This is a time of things happening kind of in synchronicity, in synergy, and everything coming together exactly as it's meant to because you are aligned. Just because you can't see it yet in your 3D world doesn't mean that it's not here. Sometimes it just takes a while for our outer world to catch up with our inner world, but your inner world has made it. Keeping it in check. Pay attention to what's going on around you. You might be moving into something too quickly or missing some important details. I almost get the vibe here that there's a certain level of needing to recognize that you're more powerful than you were before. And so kind of keeping in check the whims or habits or behavioral patterns that used to be kind of in your frequency that no longer are, but are still kind of knee-jerk reactions, right? So keep that in check. Pay attention to what's building around you because I think that you're going to notice that things come into being more easily, more clearly. The things that you make happen more easily, which means that you also have a greater responsibility. Change direction with ease. This is a time for change, shape-shifting, or your soul's evolution. It's time to reconsider what you're wanting. You may be in for a surprise. You know, sometimes we work really hard for something, and then we get it and we realize that we didn't really want it. We just wanted to be able to say that we want it. And I almost get the vibe here, I use that word a lot. I almost get the vibe here that there's this certain level of realizing as you elevate, because life happens in a spiral, right? And so we continuously come back to the same lessons from a higher spiral of perception. And what you wanted when you were down here is different than what you want when you're up here. So keep your old, and maybe this is kind of what I was trying to get at here, is keep your old whims and desires in check a little bit because you might realize they're not actually what you want anymore. Persistent drive. See what you desire and move toward that goal. It's time to zero in on your purpose. Use your intuition and instincts to guide you for the optimal outcome. This evolution that you're experiencing has connected you with your intuition in a new way. This new ability to make things happen more easily. Be very in tune with that and follow it, because that's going to take you there. You're already on your way there. There's be very clear about what it is you want. And if you don't know, pause, take a breath, connect with yourself. What are the desires hiding behind your more obvious ones? Like sometimes we desire one thing, but at its core, it's something else. What is it? Because once you figure out what that is and you become laser focused on what it is you want, you're going to move toward it quickly. We have the underworld. I think you've probably been there. Often we're there when we raise our vibration. It takes time for us to, wither and descend and compost so that we can rise again. I think that you have been in the underworld for a while. And again, another way in which we have to kind of earn our sea legs when we get back up, because we've been walking very different terrain for quite a while. We have agape, unconditional love of self, of other, of the divine. Being in awe. Be in awe of what you've accomplished. Be in awe of what you can accomplish. And tap into this harmony, tap into this. Shift easily, because things are going to change. You're going to realize that maybe something you've been working toward isn't exactly what you want to be working toward anymore, and that's okay. It's better to know when to walk away than to keep plugging at something that you don't actually want. We're allowed to change our minds. And the seed, you're at the beginning. You are at the beginning of something great. Be at awe of your rebirth, of your restart, of your growth, of your evolution, of your elevation. Become very, very honed in on what it is you want and go for it, because it's yours. Let's see what else we got here. I think there might be a block to your expansion, but that block is feeling stuck in an old identity. You can embody so many aspects of yourself. Whatever you were in the previous iteration of you is not the only thing you are. That part of you is still there, but it's not everything. And you can be so much more than that, and allow yourself to be so much more than that. There are other parts of you that are seeking expression. So take your power back from the part of you. You're kind of giving all your energy to this old version of you, and that old version doesn't have to be it anymore. That old version might be a part of you that gives your power away, that people pleases, because we literally have giving power away, taking power back. Take your power back from this old idea of who you are, this old identity you might be attached to. And again, be patient. It takes time. We have to allow old parts of ourselves to die so that new parts of ourselves can be born. And sometimes we just need to give another part of ourselves the stage. But I think that when you are quiet and sitting with yourself, there's a lot of honesty and alignment with who you are and what it is you want. Maybe you feel like you owe it to other people to continue to be this person in a box, but you're not that person anymore. And you couldn't go back in that box if you wanted to. This has been an opportunity to move deeper into self-acceptance, to move deeper into self-love. And this has required you to go in and be conscious of what you're consuming. Trying to stay who you used to be, it won't work. But you will continuously give your power away to that effort when you could instead be diverting it towards these new amazing things in front of you. So figure out what it is that you want. And again, take care of yourself, be connected to your inner world. If you don't know what it is you want, that's okay. take a beat. Think about it. Think about the desires behind your more logical ones. Okay, this one fell on the floor. You don't need to be lost in illusion and fear. Sorry, I shook the camera a little bit there. You don't need to be lost in illusion and fear. The illusion is that you're still the old version of yourself, and you're not. This sounds very similar to pile 2, to the Lilligant pile, but in this instance, it's almost more of I mean, they're both spiritual journeys by every account, but this one feels more like you're holding on to the old identity, while pile 2 was about not believing that the old one was gone yet. Loosen your grip. You can step into the new one now. You can see beyond it. Lampent Pile, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you this landed for you. Leave some comments. Tell me a story. Tell me which Pokemon you chose. I'm always interested to hear how these land. Again, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you next time.